All right, let's begin. Welcome, President Macron, on your fourth doctoral visit to China. Last year marked the 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and France. You warmly received me during my visit to France, and we both agreed to carry forward the spirit of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and France, and to give it new contemporary meaning, thus opening a new chapter in the relations between our two countries. Both China and France are visionary and responsible independent major powers, and constructive forces driving world multipolarity and promoting human solidarity and cooperation. More than 60 years ago, the older generation of leaders of both countries broke through the shadow of the Cold War and made the strategic decision to establish diplomatic relations between China and France, which continues to have a positive and far-reaching impact on the world today. As the world undergoes rapid changes, humanity once again stands at a crossroads. China and France should demonstrate their responsibility, uphold the banner of multilateralism, pierce through the fog of uncertainty, and firmly stand on the right side of history. Throughout the Sino-French movement, the French side has consistently acted in accordance with the fundamental interests of the people of both countries and the long-term interests of the international community, eliminating various interferences, adhering to equal dialogue, and promoting open cooperation. This has ensured that the Sino-French Comprehensive Strategic Partnership will continue to grow steadily and effectively in the new 60 years, fully demonstrating its strategic value. It will also make new contributions to promoting an equal and orderly multipolar world and inclusive economic globalization. Thank you, that's all for now.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your welcome and your kind words, and I am delighted to return to China 2 years after my last visit, cherishing the memory of the exceptional welcome you extended to us in Beijing and Guangzhou. We had agreed to revitalize bilateral relations in all areas, and your visit to Paris in May 2024, followed by your visit to the Hautes-Pyrénées, was a highlight of the celebration of the 60th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. And we have indeed learned through these meetings, which have shaped our relationship, of shared interests on global issues, international crises, and bilateral relations. We just discussed this in a private meeting, and we will certainly continue to do so. The current context is fraught with growing geopolitical uncertainties. We are facing the risk of disintegration of the international order that has brought peace to the world for decades. And in this context, the dialogue between China and France, we know of ways of convergence. We sometimes have disagreements, but we have the responsibility to know how to overcome them, to find mechanisms for cooperation, for the settlement of disputes, for an effective multilateralism in which we believe. I propose a three-pronged positive agenda for our relations: geopolitical stability, economic rebalancing, and environmental sustainability. Indeed, as we have already discussed, we must continue to work together for peace and stability in the world, and for Ukraine, and for the various regions of the world affected by war. Our ability to work together is crucial. During France's G7 presidency next year, we also want to initiate a dialogue with major players, first and foremost China, on global economic imbalances and global governance. Our two countries have a role to play in laying, with other partners, the foundations for a more balanced, fairer, and more robust economic governance, based on rules and not on the law of the strongest. And I know how committed you are to this as well. This global rebalancing must also be reflected in our bilateral economic and trade relationship. Here again, solutions exist: cross-investments, value creation, partnerships in numerous fields, and it is essential to create an environment of trust and address all risks of instability in supply chains. We have already begun to discuss this. Finally, we must continue our joint efforts to provide concrete answers to global challenges. I am thinking of the threats to biodiversity, to our oceans, and also of financial support for the most vulnerable countries. In all these areas, our partnership has already proven its effectiveness in recent years, and I hope we can continue it. On all these points, as well as on bilateral, economic, cultural, and all other issues we will discuss, the Franco-Chinese partnership is ambitious and dedicated to peace, prosperity, and mutual understanding. Thank you, Mr. President, for the quality of the exchanges we have always had and continue to have.